It all starts with what we call sowing. In the parable of the sower, there are lots of seeds sown widely at the beginning, but not all of these bear fruit. When we're serving people who've not yet begun to explore faith, we're just sowing little seeds and doing things which have a wide appeal, so the spiritual content of the activity might be quite small. Christians simply connect with people through a mutual interest or meeting a need, and they show people the love of God. Let's think about an example. A small group could start a parent and toddlers activity, which gives them the opportunity to share Christian love. The hope is that one day these people will respond to the gospel, but the Christian team are unconditional about their love. As they serve, they pray, and they look out for what God might be doing in people's lives. Socially, it can be powerful to have a group of Christians together. Our Christian relationships are different, and not yet Christians notice this. Sowing can be anything: going bowling, having a coffee morning, serving at the community shop. The key is to include people in your normal life. Sunday lunch, social activities, etc. You're sowing just by showing people that you love them because God does. Some of the seeds of faith that are sown through this loving service and sowing activity germinate, and so we come to the next stage for them: nurturing. This is where people want to find out a bit more about Christian faith, but it's just small shoots. For example, for the parent and toddler group, the leaders realise that some of the parents coming would appreciate an opportunity to explore or engage with faith. They decide to invite parents who want to come to something like Messy Church, designed around the needs and interests of those they have been serving. They give the parents opportunities to learn about christenings and invite those interested to come to the prayer and planning for the toddler group. A nurturing activity is anything which is a step of exploring a bit more about faith, and most people take a lot of little steps in their faith journey. From the point of view of the Christians involved in accompanying them, it's about being alert to the real needs and interests of the people you know. Then you can offer them a step, which really is something which is good news for them. I'm drawing an arrow between the sowing and the nurturing. This represents an invitation. At each stage of exploring faith, we can invite people to more. It's really important to remember that it is just that, an invitation. In the case of the toddler group, it's great to invite those who've already attended the sessions to the toddler service, but not to suddenly introduce worship into the ordinary sessions if it's unexpected. This would break the trust of the participants and feel like an imposition. An invitation, however, doesn't break trust. People can get involved in these different stages entirely as they want and move on further when they are ready. We just give invitation and sensitively support them at their own pace. After nurturing is flowering and the opportunity for faith to blossom. For those on the journey to find out in depth about Christianity and to commit to it, you'll notice that less people are involved in this stage. That's normal. We have not failed if not everyone who was involved in our sowing and nurturing activities wants to make a Christian commitment. In our toddler group example, the small team decide to offer Alpha with toddlers at the same time and day as the fortnightly toddler group, and offers play opportunities, Bible stories and crafts for the toddlers while the adults talk. It's relaxed and the toddlers can wander in and out of the session without anyone minding. The last stage of the diagram is fruit. People continue to grow as disciples within some form of church, which could be a parish church or a fresh expression of church, and the word fruit conveys ongoing development, ripening, and giving to others in witness. The parent and toddler group grows a discipleship group out of Alpha. New Christian disciples reach out to more of their peers, helping with holiday clubs, and eventually start a cafe church in their local school as their children grow up. So now it's over to you. Why don't you get a piece of paper and draw out the diagram? Think about the people you're called to love and reach out to as a church or a small group. Try and think about what they've got in common and what are the sowing activities that you're already involved in. Then plan, what are the next steps? What's the interest? What would people like to be involved in or invited to that could be the nurturing activity, an opportunity, if desired, to explore faith? How could their faith blossom and grow in a flowering activity? and what could eventually be the way you could see fruit. Think about the arrows too. What invitations could you give to the next stage? Most importantly, identify the stages that you're at now with real people. If your current activities are sowing activities, it may be hard to imagine the next stage, but by listening to real people who are beginning to explore their faith, you can imagine as far as you can. Be real about the people you care about in your community. The Suffolk Discipleship Pathway is a helpful tool, but it is only a tool. At the heart of all discipleship growth is love. We need God to enlarge our hearts so that we'll want to share the good news He's given us with others.